guys, good morning and welcome to Stacking the Shelves for the week preceding March 27th. This is actually my Stacking the Shelves for the last 2 weeks. I'm going to scoot over here. Most of you know, we did go out to the Great Smoky Mountain National Park for spring break and rented a house out there and did some hiking. I can talk more about that later. I think I already talked about it some in my Wednesday video, but yeah. So I did gain quite a bit of books. A lot of them are ones I borrowed from the library from Kindle Unlimited. So I'm going to go ahead and start going through them. There's a couple exciting ones that I bought that I'm super excited about. And the first one is The Crown of Gilded Bones by Jennifer L. Armentrout. And this is the third and I think final book of the Blood and Ash series. So yeah, super excited to get that. I did not realize it had come out. I saw it when I came back from vacation and just, yeah, I'm very excited about this. This is, of course, is a fantasy, like an epic fantasy type-ish novel that's fairly heavy on romance, kind of a guilty pleasure from Armentrout. So yeah, very excited about that one. And I bought it for Kindle. The next one I also bought for Kindle, and that is Namesake by Adrienne Young. This is the second book in the Fable duology. I actually just posted a review for this, I think last week. Pretty sure it was last week. Or maybe it's upcoming. Anyways, a review will either did post or will be posted shortly. I absolutely loved Fable. It was just an amazing fantasy adventure story with like pirates and treasure hunts and really neat characters and so much fun. Really looking forward to reading Namesake, and yeah, I'm going to have to probably jump this one out my list along with the other one and kind of reorder. Like I usually plan out what books I'm going to read for about the next month, and I think I'm going to have to alter that order so I can get these in here. Again, I didn't realize Namesake was coming out mid-March. I thought it was coming out a little bit later, but super excited to get it, and yeah, bought it for Kindle. All right, so now we're going to get into books that I have borrowed. This one shouldn't even really be in here, but I'll talk about it anyways. I've been borrowing audiobooks through Overdrive and Libby. Yeah, it's Overdrive. Using the Libby app. I actually really like it a lot. I think their phone app is just as good as like Audible and other ones. And so I got The Darkest Star by Jennifer L. Armentrout because that was another Armentrout book that they had for borrowing. Those of you who have followed know I did not really like the Lux series. I read the first book in it, and I didn't really like it, so I didn't finish the series. I did not realize that The Darkest Star is a continuation of the Lux series, so I started to listen to this on audiobook and was like, no, and then I stopped. So yeah, I did get this and borrow it, but I am not going to finish reading it. I know those are earlier books by her, and I just did not enjoy the Lux thing. I think the whole, like, young adult alien coming to Earth and falling in love with people is a little overdone and just kind of weak. So, you know. One I am going to start reading today that I also borrowed from the library is Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. I have wanted to read this quite a while. It was on my list of books that I really was looking forward to reading this year. I know I'm behind on this, but I'm going to start reading it tonight, and I'm super excited to read it. I've heard so many good things about it, so looking forward to that. And this is kind of an epic fantasy sci-fi thingy from what I've heard. I've heard it's kind of a little bit hard to describe, so I'm very much looking forward to that. I love stuff that's a little different. All right, and for the last few, my printer decided that it couldn't print very much blue, so I'll show these, but I'll probably put a picture next to them so you can see the actual cover. I did borrow most of these through Kindle Unlimited. The first one is Migrations by Charlotte McConaughey. I think that's how you say that. Again, this cover is like all blue with like icebergs and stuff, but you can't see it because my printer like pooped out in the middle. This one, from what I know, is a discussion about bird migration and kind of climate change. I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I do like to read kind of sciencey books every once in a while, so I think this will be an interesting read, and I'm looking forward to it. So while I was on vacation, I mentioned I started reading the Glimmer Lake series. So the next one I got from Kindle Unlimited is the second book in the Glimmer Lake series, Semi-Psychic Life. Again, the blue is missing from this picture, so the bottle is more green in reality, but whatever. This is by Elizabeth Hunter and is the second book in the Semi-Psychic Life trilogy. Each one of these books features a different one of 3 mid-40s women who got in a horrible car accident, and when they recovered from it, they found out they had psychic powers. I'm really liking this series just because I think the characters are very relatable. They have families and problems, and they're just normal. They're not your normal like urban fantasy heroine that has no family and tries to kill themselves by wearing themselves to the ground all the time. They actually are fairly normal people who are trying to deal with this kind of strange ability they've developed. So looking forward to reading that. I enjoyed the first one a lot. It was a rather quick read and just kind of a fun, light diversion. All right, and then the next 3 are ones I also got through Kindle Unlimited that I borrowed. They're part of the Alliance of Silver and Steam series by Lexi Ostro. I did read the first book in the series and I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say like I loved it, but I really do like steampunk and it was good. I thought it was an interesting start to the series. So she has 2 prequels. One's a novel and one's like a short story. So I got those and then I got the second book. And I believe the full-length prequel is Rise of Silver and Steam by Lexi Ostro. I'm going to say I do not like the cover for the series at all. I think it's too busy, and I don't like the romancy stance between the 2 characters in the bottom. It's just very jarring covers, so I'm not a fan of the covers of the series. The next one is a short story, and that's Demon in Steam. Again, not a fan of this cover at all. Especially since the first book I read was pretty well balanced between like a good world and mystery and a romance. I don't know if you need covers with people like ripping their clothes off, but whatever. And then the second one in the series is Bite of Silver. So, these are just awful covers. She needs to seriously consider getting someone else to do her covers. Anyways, so we'll see how I like those. Again, I borrowed these through Kindle Unlimited. I did that so they're just available on my Kindle, and if I read the prequel and I'm like, you know what? No, I'll probably won't end up reading them, and I'll just return them. But yeah, so that's what I got this week, and I actually did not count. So let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's 9 books over the last 2 weeks. Not too bad. I've been kind of hovering around 35 to 40 books in my to-be-read pile, which is a comfortable place for me. I did just find out this morning, I know I've been talking a lot about vaccinations and COVID, but I found out this morning that the governor is going to announce today, and this is Friday, the day before this post, and I'm doing this kind of early in the morning at like 6 o'clock in the morning, that the governor is going to announce that vaccinations are going to be open to all Minnesotans 16 years and older starting on Tuesday, so March 30th. Very excited about that, and also dreading it a little bit because my husband and I were actually supposed to be in the next prioritized group because of where we work. But now we're going to be like, I don't know, vying with everybody for the vaccine. So that will be interesting. I'm kind of holding out hope that maybe my work, I work for 3M, which I mentioned before. It's a very big company, and they often do company-wide like vaccine distribution. I'm trying to hold out hope that maybe they will get a supply of COVID vaccines to distribute to their lab and manufacturing personnel who have to work in person a lot. That would be really nice, but I doubt it. So they have a vaccine connector app, which my husband and I filled out all the forms for, and it sounds like they're going to do a lottery through that app with somewhat leaning to when people signed up to get it or something like that. And I need to read more about it. But that's pretty exciting, and it would be really awesome if like a good percentage of adults in Minnesota had the vaccine by, May. Because originally we were told April, and then we were told, well, probably not May until May or June, and then we were told April, and now supposedly, it might be early April. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know. I'm excited, but I also know it's probably going to be a huge, gigantic mess trying to get it. So, and then I think I did talk some in my Wednesday video about our trip out to Great Smoky Mountains National Park. It went well. It wasn't my favorite national park. It doesn't really have any huge, unique, distinguishing features, but there was a lot of nice hiking, and it was not very busy. There was no international presence, obviously, so it was other Americans that were there, and everyone was very polite, and it went well. It just wasn't really exciting, I think my son wrapped it up real well. He said, it was nice to go do something, but on a normal year when there wasn't a pandemic, this would not have been ideal. And I agree, my son did start school full time this week. We did have a bit of an issue with the bus. I guess they have a lack of buses and bus drivers right now. And so they combined a whole bunch of bus routes onto one. So the first day he went back, the kids were sitting 3 to 4 a bench, and he was on the bus for over an hour. And some of the kids weren't wearing masks, which he was super upset about. And he told the bus driver, and the bus driver threatened to kick kids off the bus if they didn't wear their mask. And it sounds like it was a big deal. He basically came home super upset, and I felt really bad for him. And there were some things that happened at school too, like they decided for lunch that when you got to lunch and chose a table, like that was going to be your assigned seat, but he had to go run some stuff to his locker before lunch, and because he's an 8th grader, they put the lockers way on their side of school. And then when he came back, like the table that his friends were sitting at was full, so they made him sit at a table by himself. And there were just things like that going on. He was not a very happy person. We did try to come up with a little bit of I asked him kind of what we could do to help, and we came up with the compromise that we're going to try to drop him off and pick him up from school. The dropping off has been very easy. The picking up, not so much, because there's like a giant line you have to sit in to pick up kids, and it takes quite a bit to get through it. So it took me like 20 minutes to drop him off and like an hour to pick him up. And we can't do that every day. So our library is actually a 5-minute walk from his middle school. And I asked him in the afternoon if he could just walk to the library and I could pick him up there. That way I don't have to get to school 20 minutes before it closes to get in line and then sit in the line for 15 minutes and drive back home. So we did that yesterday and it worked pretty well. And we're going to try to continue to do that at least until my husband and I get vaccinated and they get the bus thing figured out. I mean, really, he only has a couple more months left of school. So yeah, I think it should be okay, but it was a mess. He was so upset. I felt so bad for him. I was almost crying because he was just so upset. And so hopefully it'll go better. It seems like other things at school are going better. He seems happier and like he's talking to more of his friends and all that stuff. And so he does seem to be a lot perkier and happier now that he's back full time. But there is kind of the bus thing going on that we're trying to deal with, and hopefully that'll be resolved. So yeah, that's, what we got going on. I hope everybody's staying safe and healthy and getting vaccinated if you can. It's so important. I'm a scientist, and people who don't get their kids vaccinated drive me crazy. There's a reason they were invented, and there's really no proof that they do anything wrong. So yeah, I just take care of each other. And with that being said, I hope you guys got a lot of great books and had a great week of reading, and that you have a great week of reading ahead of you. And I will talk to you on Wednesday, and I have no idea what I'm going to talk to you on Wednesday about. I am still behind both in work and my personal life and trying to get caught up. So maybe I'll do a book review, or, it might be the best books of March, because I already know all my book reviews are going to post to the end of March. So maybe that's what the Wednesday post will be. All right. Have a great week of reading, and I will talk to you later. Bye.